We all sort of have this rhythm to our days, don't we?
Yeah.
This sequence of things we do, often without even really thinking about it. Ever stop and think how much we actually talk about what we do every day?
It's huge, isn't it? I
Hmm.
mean, these routines, they give us structure, predictability, maybe even a bit of comfort, but actually talking about them, describing these things we do all the time,
Yeah.
sometimes feels a bit, well, flat.
Right. Which is exactly what we're diving into today. We've been looking at this source, talking about daily routines in English. And okay, maybe its first goal is language learning, but honestly, the way it breaks down how we talk about our days is pretty fascinating for anyone. It
Hmm.
really looks at the definitions, the words we use, the sort of practical side of explaining our daily habits.
Absolutely. And for you listening, this isn't just about, learning phrases. It's a chance to maybe see your own day a bit clearer
Mhm.
and feel more confident just talking about it, whether that's at work or just chatting with friends. It's useful stuff, really practical.
Definitely. So, our mission here is to pull out the best bits from this guide, the most useful insights, basically, to help you understand your own routines and talk about them clearly, comfortably. Okay, so let's get into it. The source starts really simply. What is a routine?
Yeah, and the definition is super straightforward. It's just a series of actions or habits you do regularly. Could be daily, could be weekly. Think about brushing your teeth, obvious one. Or maybe always going to the gym on Mondays or, you know, setting aside time to study English.
Right, it's what your day usually looks like.
Exactly, the baseline. Though it's interesting, isn't it? While that structure is key, sometimes too much routine can feel a bit rigid.
Mm-hmm.
There's that balance with being spontaneous, too.
For sure. It's not about being inflexible, just understanding the pattern. And the source points out the grammar tool we lean on for this, the present simple tense,
Mm-hmm.
which makes total sense. I check emails, I make dinner, I walk the dog. Regular things.
Spot on. Present simple is the go-to for habits for these recurring actions. It just fits.
Mhm.
And you notice how changing the tense changes the meaning, right? Like, I'm checking emails means right now I will check is future. But the simple present, that's your routine.
Yeah, anchors it.
And then it gets into the practical stuff, the tools for actually structuring how you talk about it, which I think is super helpful.
Totally. It gives you these time markers like in the morning, after lunch, at night, on weekdays, every evening. Simple stuff, but it works. It immediately gives the day some shape when you're describing it, like putting things in boxes.
Yeah, they're like signposts for the listener, tells them where you are in the day. And it adds those little connecting words. First I, then I, after that I. Finally, I usually,
Yeah.
it's like building blocks, isn't it? A really simple way to line up your actions when you talk.
It is. Makes it much less daunting than just trying to remember everything in order off the top of your head.
And you wonder if just thinking about these structures actually helps you notice how you spend your time more, too.
Could be. Now, vocabulary is key, obviously. The source lists a load of those essential daily action words, wake up, brush my teeth, take a shower, get dressed, make breakfast, go to work. The absolute basics.
Yeah, the core stuff. And it's amazing how often we use just these few verbs, right?
Yeah,
They do a lot of heavy lifting in describing our lives.
they really do.
Getting comfortable with these basics, it really lets you start sketching out your day for someone. And notice how many are phrasal verbs like wake up, get dressed. Very common for daily actions in English.
Good point. But it's not just the verbs, is it? It also talks about adding more natural sounding expressions.
Ah, yes, this is important for fluency.
Phrases like I usually,
Hmm.
most days on weekdays I tend to, I try to make time for.
Exactly. These make it sound less like you're reading from a list and more like, well, how people actually talk. Instead of just, I leave at 8 a.m., saying I usually leave around 8 a.m., adds that touch of reality.
Mm.
Things aren't always exact.
Makes it feel more human, yeah. Allows for those slight changes day to day. The examples they give, like most mornings I have coffee before work or I try to read before I sleep, they just sound right, relatable.
They do. And then I liked how the source breaks routines down into types.
Yeah.
Morning, daytime, evening, and night. It gives you a good mental map, helps you think about the different parts of the day separately.
Yeah, that's helpful. And for each type, it gives you prompts, specific questions to think about. Like for the morning, what time do you wake up? First thing you do, breakfast, exercise. It pushes you beyond just saying, oh, I get ready.
Right. It encourages more detail. For daytime, asking about breaks, staying productive, very relevant now.
Mm.
Evening focuses on winding down. Night on sleep habits. These aren't just conversation starters. They're good for reflecting on your own routine too, like, is it working for me?
True. And they show a little example conversation, don't they? Someone asks, what's your typical day like? And the answer is just, normal,
Mm,
natural.
mm.
The point isn't some perfect speech, it's just clear communication.
That's such a key thing. It's about being understood, not being
Yeah.
perfect. And the idea of practicing with friends, using those questions like, what's your morning routine like? Great way to build confidence.
Definitely. Now, something I found really useful was the bit about talking about changes to routines.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, our routines aren't set in stone, they evolve.
Oh, absolutely. Life happens.
And the source gives examples like, I'm trying to wake up earlier these days, or I recently added journaling,
Mhm.
or I'm working on building a better sleep schedule.
Yes, this is crucial because it reflects real life. We tweak things, try new habits, aim to improve. Being able to talk about those shifts is important. And those sentence starters, it gives, I'm trying to. I've just started. B, I want to add. They're really practical ways to phrase those changes or intentions.
Yeah, notice the grammar again. I'm trying. That present continuous showing it's in progress.
Exactly. Different from the simple present for the established habit. Subtle, but it conveys the right meaning.
Okay, so wrapping it all up. We've looked at what a routine actually is, the common actions, the natural language to use.
How to structure, talking about your day, different types of routines, and even discussing changes.
It's basically a toolkit for understanding and talking about this fundamental part of daily life.
Pretty much. Giving you the language and the framework to do it clearly and hopefully confidently.
All right, so as we finish up this deep dive, let's bring it back to you, the listener. We've covered quite a bit, all from this one practical guide.
And we really hope you feel a bit more tuned in to your own daily rhythm now and maybe more ready to talk about it.
So here's that final question from the source to think about, and it's a good one. What's one thing you do every day that makes your routine better? Just take a second, genuinely consider that for yourself.
Yeah, it's a great question. It pushes us past just listing tasks and makes us think about what actually adds value, what makes our day feel good. Even those small, consistent things can make a real difference, can't they? Both to how we feel and how well we communicate about our lives.
Well said. Thanks everyone for joining us for this deep dive.
Until next time.